My dear brethren, I speak to you now not from beyond the veil, but through the echo of timeless truths. As I once walked the lanes of England preaching beneath open skies, I now bear a message for your time. One marked not by candles and carriages, but by screens and satellites. And yet the soul of man remains unchanged, as does his struggle with righteousness, temptation, and the weight of his witness. Let us speak plainly. What one generation tolerates, the next shall embrace. This is not merely an observation, it is a warning. It is a truth carved into the arc of human history, and it should stir our conscience like thunder at midnight. In my day, I saw what complacency could do. Drunkenness was a sport, child labor an economy, and religion a formality stripped of its fire. But I also saw the power of reformation, not from crowns or parliaments, but from awakened hearts, stirred to holy living and social action. Now I look upon your age, and I do not speak lightly when I say that the danger is even greater. You tolerate what I could scarcely have imagined: truth bent into spectacle, justice traded for convenience, and morality reframed as mere preference. And what you tolerate, your children will build altars to. If your culture treats greed as ambition, your children will worship wealth. If you mock virtue and elevate vice for the sake of amusement, your children will know no shame. If you tolerate lies in the name of power, your children will not recognize truth when it stares them in the face. This is not merely decay, it is drift, and it begins not in institutions, but in the heart. In the 18th century, the people had grown weary. The church, once a lampstand of holiness, had become a relic. The poor were trampled, the rich unbothered, and the moral compass of the nation was shattered. We did not fix this with laws alone, we fixed it with revival, with preaching in fields and prayer in the home, with schools for the poor, visits to prisons, and a gospel that did not merely save souls, but raised the standard of society. How this applies today. Now in your day, the drift has returned, but it is cloaked in sophistication. It comes not with torches and mobs, but with trends and platforms, algorithms and apathy. Where once people cried for virtue, now they cry for validation. And the lines between right and wrong are blurred not by ignorance, but by indifference. Do not suppose this has no cost. When you entertain violence, you will reap cruelty. When you excuse dishonor, you will breed corruption. When you remain silent in the face of evil, you give it permission to speak for you. My advice for today: raise the standard. Let your conscience be lit by truth, not comfort. Speak against what is wrong, even when the world applauds it. Guard your homes. Teach your children to discern, not just to consume. Equip them with truth, not trends. Live with intention. Your life preaches, even when your mouth does not. Let your days be sermons of integrity and compassion. Reclaim the sacred. Not everything old is obsolete. Some things are eternal. Justice, mercy, humility, holiness, these never go out of season. Be watchmen on the wall. A generation that sees evil and calls it innovation is one that has abandoned its post. Let us not sleep. Do not be lulled by the slow descent. The enemy of your souls works not only with destruction, but with distraction, with tolerances dressed as tolerance, with compromise baptized as compassion. But you must rise. You must remember that every generation is a steward, not only of the present, but of the future. What you allow to grow in your gardens will either be the roots of revival or the seeds of ruin. Do not leave your children a world where light is scorned and darkness is celebrated. Leave them a world where truth is loved, even when it wounds. A world where character still matters. Where duty is not a burden, but a badge. Brothers and sisters, do not be at ease in Babylon. Be faithful in Jerusalem. Let not your silence speak louder than your convictions. Let not your apathy be the legacy your children inherit. Let not what you tolerate today become what they must battle tomorrow. The Lord calls each generation to raise the banner anew. May yours not be found sleeping when the trumpet sounds.